I have a smile on my face because Brigham and I are laughing about the name of this fly. I will be proper. It's called a booby. It does have big bulbous eyes. However, I'm not sure if that has anything to do with the naming of the fly. And we use it on Henry's Lake. Totally slammed them there. So you got to check this video out because this is going to end up in your fly box.
Yeah, that's a big brown.
All right, so here we have a heavyweight champ in the vise. I'm using 210 ear thread. And we've got a video on how to use the Upavon, I don't know how to pronounce it, but you cut a bunch of foam cylinders out of a foam block. So as you can see, I've cut out a bunch of 6 and 7 millimeter holes out of this. I cut them in half, and this is what they look like. So you can see that nasty square or blunt end. I'm going to show you how to get those perfect. Key here is very sharp scissors. So these what are they called, Brigham? Renomed? Renomed, I believe. Jeez, I don't know. These scissors are freaking sharp. I love them. This is one with a smooth blade. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come around the side and make kind of a rough cut, knocking down that edge. So I'll do it on the other side real quick. See if I can get that in view for you. This is such a crisp cutting little scissor, man. All right, so I'm here. Got it right here. I'm just going to touch it with the flame and roll it in my fingers. And boom, here we go. Now there's some debate about, do you tie on the booby eye after the fly's tied, or you tie it on first? I definitely prefer to tie it on first, but through watching the British guys tie these boobies a lot, I learned a technique that's actually really, really cool. So I'm going to take the eye and I'm going to wrap my thread around the eye like twice. So I can you see how I did that? I can make sure that that's perfect. That's about how I want it to sit. Once I have it on the thread, I'm just going to continue to wind, and it will kind of seat itself on the hook. You can get a really tight tie-in point here. And kind of figure 8 or wrap around the base of both of those. So here we have 2 perfectly set booby eyes ready to roll. Brigham learns stuff every time he watches me tie flies. All right, so this is a fly that we used on a special secret stillwater in Idaho named Henry's Lake. Did I say a secret? It's not really that secret. Henry's Lake has a reputation for really, really picky, snotty fish that will only eat the exact thing that they've eaten for years and years. Real slim leeches, intermediate lines. We busted out the Euro stuff. Not Euro nymphing, but the UK stuff that we've learned over the years, like the parabolic line. You guys hear me talk about that all the time. Whatever it was about the parabolic line with this booby and a few calabatus nymphs was magic. So anyway, we're going to pick a real flowy piece of feather. So, all right, so I have pulled all the fibers off of that, got it in my hand, and I'm just going to kind of bunch all those together like that. And now I've got a real long piece of marabou that I can use. I like to cut off those butt ends and use that little section to tie it in. Now, I can tie this in up top so it's more level, more durable, but I'm going to take my fingernail and I'm going to pull out a lot of those marabou fibers that are stuck in on the stems. So that's stuff that I pull off the marabou, and that's where I'll tie it in. So I'm going to, let's see if I can get it to work, do a few loose roots. Loose roots. It's a word. And I'll just wrap it back. Maybe I didn't peel off enough of those fibers, but you get the picture. All right, so when I wrap this back, I'm going to wrap it down the bend a little bit, and that will keep that from fouling quite a bit. It looks really dumb, but it'll keep it from fouling. And I want my tail pretty long on this. I hear this all the time. Guys will say, well, with a long tail like that, my fish short strike, so that won't work. I don't think the fish are short striking. They either have a dull hook point, maybe their fly design's wrong, maybe it's a small fish eating it. But I really don't think the fish are smart enough to know that's a fly, and if I only eat the tail, I won't get the hook. No, they're trying to eat it. So don't give me the short strike stuff. This long tail style of fly has been used for years and years and years and years. Guess what? Fish eat it just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here and with my thumbnail just kind of break off some of those fibers to get it the length that I want. And the rest of the fly is real simple. So this is just F&F Jelly Fritz in blackjack color, just black on black. If you notice the theme here, the blank saver theme, where it's black tail, black body, chartreuse head, I'm just doing that with a booby instead of a bead. So once I'm here, I'll just wrap this forward. So I'm going to turn that. Some people say you want to pack that in real tight, but I like to wrap it just kind of natural thickness. Don't want to pack it too tight, don't want it too loose. And I'll tell you why. So trim that off. Now, as you can see, the hook gap is completely gone on this fly. That hook is hidden in the materials, which normally would be a very bad thing. But this Fritz really slims down in the water. So when you're fishing it, that hook is definitely going to be able to be ready to poke a fish. So don't worry about that too much. Take my thread up through the eyes now, finish around the eye of the hook, and kind of pull everything out of the way and do a quick whip finish. Anyway, if you haven't watched our videos on fishing parabolic lines, we'll put some links in the description below. If you already know about it, you can see why this fly is such a killer. But we use this all over the place in different colors as well. So mess with some olive, some orange, some pink. But this one is definitely one of my favorite colors to fish in this booby pattern.